On the last video we put the ARMS 18 mount and a cheap Chinese scope on my cheap Chinese M14 knockoff or M1A knockoff. And today we are going to put a swivel stud on and a bipod. Both, well, let's keep with the tradition, and they are Chinese. Well, this one's Taiwan, kind of Chinese. So let's get started. Alright, pull the trigger assembly out, and should be able to grab that by the scope mounts here. Slip the action away. Alright, we'll be working with the stock today. I'm going to take the action, put it back in the safe where it's safe. So what we're going to do is we've got the stock out, and I'm going to mark out where I want the tripod to be. And unfortunately this is a plastic stock, so there's a nice mold line right down here, so we've identified the middle. That's just a cheap Champion bipod, and I'm going to want it out about here, I think. Alright. It's going to interfere a bit with the actual stud that's on there, and I need to just mark that with a score. Alright. I've got my area scored here, so I'm going to drill right here for the swivels. And the swivels itself, they come with some aggressively threaded screws or a bolt assembly. So I'm going to use the bolt assembly. So I'm going to get my drill out and read my instructions, make sure I know what size drill bit to use, and we'll be right back. I've got a 5/32 inch bit, and this is the hard part, is getting it started where you want your hole. So I think I might just get a punch here. I'm going to see, I don't have a Forstner bit this size, so I'm very happy with that. Just want to make sure this gets started and it stays perpendicular. Otherwise, it's just a waste of stock. Hopefully we're still in frame, and well, that thing is not going to be going anywhere, that's for sure. That worked very well. As you can see, the two spacers here held that in nicely, and that is flush. Or actually, it's not. It's under the two that are already installed on the stock itself. So hopefully that's going to be a good start for us. So here we have our swivel stud, and we have our bipod. Now, I think the best way to show this is to give you this orientation. Under the bipod, you've got two little teeth here that are going to grab into the side of the swivel stud. So what we're going to do is we're just going to loosen up this screw right over here so that we can grab a hold of the holes. And I'll have to leave a little bit of that to your imagination, because I imagine the camera's not going to quite pick that up. But we'll try. Okay, like one side. I think a little. Oh, there it is. So I think I've got both sides done. So what I'm going to do is press that down a little bit, and I'm finger tightening this. And basically what that causes is these two little arms here to compress against the swivel stud and making it tighter and more secure. And there we go. So I got that finger tight. I'm going to give that a good turn with the screwdriver here. And voila! And voila! I've done it backwards. This is not the most graceful install of a bipod. There we go. So now we've got that kind of trapped in there. All I need to do is tighten up this screw here. And one more good squeeze with that. And there we have our bipod. So that seems to fit in very nicely. Now we're just going to we'll see how she shoots, but she sure does look good. We have our Chinese M14 target rifle with the bipod installed, and we're going to take it for a shoot. So here's our group. And no, that's not a great group for most people, but for me that's a good group. Alright, the battery's low, so I gotta do this quick, folks. Second group. Fuck. That would have been okay if I had not pulled that first one. Alright, well, let's see how we did. Anyway, we'll measure that off and take a picture when we get home. Well, I got this home and I measured it, and it is a 1 1/8 inch group, and I had lots of room for improvement from the shooter myself. Actually, here we go. So the writing's upside down because that's the way the group presented itself. The first shot I pulled off to the right and I felt it, and then I aimed over to the right just to hopefully correct for the bad shot. Anyway, so it got 1 1/8 inch, 147 grain bullet, and I was using 39 grains, I think, of 48.95. So again, lots of room for the shooter to improve. A better shooter probably could have got that into a 3/4 inch group.